Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of When Pigs Fly. I am Patty, and I'm joined by Tracy and Renee. Good morning, ladies.
Hello,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Good to see you. So, today, first of all, we want to thank all of you new subscribers, and we want to thank all of you for your comments and your feedback. We are here for you. This is your community, this is your tribe. So, we want to give you content that resonates with you, that helps you through this journey. And it is a journey, and our work is never done. So, with that said, today we picked a juicy topic for all of you, and that is how do we find stillness in the midst of chaos? Because we can all admit there's a little bit of chaos out there. So, who would like to start with this? Tracy, you look excited about this topic.
Oh, yes, an exciting topic. And actually, it is exciting because I do believe that we are entering into a year, 2024, of great change. And I believe it's going to be amazing, exciting, full of creation, full of just really people having the availability and the opportunity to step into a greater version of themselves. So, very exciting. However, it could possibly and most likely will come with a lot of dismantling, i.e., chaos. And I think it's going to be very valuable to learn tools, techniques, and understanding to remain stable and strong and centered in any chaos that is presenting in your world. And I believe we'll have a very interesting and active conversation because we all have different formats of doing that. And I'll just start off by saying I live in a world that I'm out in the public often with a wide variety of people, from teenagers to adults. I have a lot of interaction with a lot of people and a lot of businesses. And a lot of things are very quickly and drastically changing, which are amazing and awesome, but could present as very disconcerting and scary for others. So I make the conscious effort to, when I go out, to make sure I am very strong and stable and grounded in myself and in my energetic field. So I'm bringing forward to any conversation, any situation, that stability and strength so it can resonate out to others. And that said, I will also be the one to add some disruption to any situation and conversation in the name of further revealing truths, because the quicker we dismantle and uncover some of these systems and beliefs that are not serving us, the acceleration process gets some accelerant behind it. So I'll let one of you go from there.
Yeah. What I love about that, Tracy, is, you're holding this space of, this strength and this whatever. And a lot of times that's what people want, when they're coming to you to, I don't want to say complain, but they're voicing their issues, their component. We're so entrenched in that stuff all the time that people aren't really recognizing, wait a minute, you can step out of it. And when we're holding that space of this strength and this grounding, and whatever it is, or just love, or just, okay, look, I'm gonna hold the space. And my daughter has a great way of saying things when people start to come at them. She'll say, okay, so do you want comfort or do you want solutions before you start? Let's do that. And which I love, because she wants to know where they want. Because a lot of times I just want comfort. I just want to spew all this stuff out, and life is going crazy, and this is happening, this is happening. They're so entrenched, they can't find their way out. They can't recognize. But when somebody's holding that space, they can talk about it. I think we talked about this off camera, Patty, with you. It's that point of, like, somebody's talking to you, and they can all of a sudden find their own way out. They just want to voice it. So it's nice to hold that space and not always look to give somebody that, okay, well, this is what you need to do. Because sometimes they don't want to hear that. They don't want to do that. They want to blame it on somebody else. Eventually they'll come around. So before we start doing that judgment thing or think, oh, well, this is what they need to do, stop and think, just, okay, I'm just going to hold this space for this person. I'm just going to hold this strength. I'm in strength. I'm not going to buy into this. I'm not going to let that stuff come into my field. I'm going to just keep disconnecting. And that's a big thing. Like when people are talking to me and I'm just thinking, disconnect, 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 because I don't want that energy to come in, especially with family and friends. It's so easy if you're not doing the work on a daily basis. And even sometimes when you are, our energy, what I see in our energy farm is, oh, that's my family. Oh, and it just opens up the energy like, oh, we always let their energy in. It's like, no, 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 we don't. That's the old school stuff. And friends too, if we know them for a long time. And then all of a sudden, you're entrenched in that and you're complaining back. And then now it just magnifies and magnifies and magnifies, which is crazy. But it's holding that space and just recognizing, okay, no, I'm just going to disconnect from all of this. I'm going to hear this person out. See, what is it they want? Do they want comfort? Do they want a solution? And if I'm just here to hold the space and do that, then that's fine too.
Yeah, and I love that with your daughter. What a genius question too, because many times we think that because someone's complaining to us or they're trying to share something, we think, oh, they want my input, when they really don't. They just literally want to be heard. And what we're all saying, I feel like in different ways, is that what we're doing energetically is we're cultivating a safe space for them to expand. Because the big picture is when you're in that fear, you're contracting, and we're holding that space. We're cultivating a safe space for them to get out of the contraction and to get back to expanding their energy. And it's true, the people closest to you are more likely. I use the analogy of, if you leave your front door open, dust's going to blow in. And so with family and the people closest to you, it's like, oh, wait, is my door closed? Because I need to keep my energy clean. And how can I be there for them?
Yeah. And Tracy, for you, because Penny and I are coming from like this energetic point with the clients, all that, but for you, because you're out in the world, I think you're getting it on a lot of different levels and different thing. And it's got to be a little more difficult for you to hold that space of that strength when you've got so many people coming at you and so many things. So I'd be very interesting to see, as people are talking about that and as you're recognizing something might not be a fit, how are you handling that to keep your energy and your space in the restaurants, in yourself, in that beautiful field?
Thank you for that question, because this is where it gets interesting and maybe beneficial for other people to hear, that I try very hard not to engage jumping into a format of, the conversation, the fear, the scrambling in. What I will do is either listen and then offer a different perspective. And a lot of times it's pretty forceful, as of, we are not doing that anymore. We're not complaining. We're not going to, run those old patterns anymore. We're going to pull out of that. We're going to do something different. And as you both said, sometimes our people are not willing to hear or listen. And that's potentially okay. Hard for me sometimes. And sometimes I will force it. It's not an option. We are going to listen, because for whatever energetics are at play, this needs to be addressed now. But it's funny, I just realized this listening to you two talk. I have an amazing friend and neighbor who lives across the street, and I'm right across the street from the beach. She's like my therapy session. I go, we walk the beach, I have the ocean, I have the sand, and I have her, and I can get out all of my frustrations because people are not hearing me, are not coming into an alignment. And we all know this. And it's right when it comes out of my mouth, it's frustrating that you're right. Everyone is out there making their own choices. At the end of the day, we can't control anyone. We can't control anything. But for me, my world, my energy container, it will hold a certain level of a frequency that I am non-negotiable on. So if you cannot come into alignment with that, you will have to, as I say, pop out of my equation, because that's how it's going to be. And energetically, that's actually how it works. At some point, if you cannot maintain my bandwidth of frequency, you're not going to be able to stay in my field. So that's not even me making this up. That's just how it works. But I express it to the ocean and to my friend, And that makes a shift energetically. I don't even have to say it to the people. I claim it to the universe. This is how I feel. This is what I demand in my field. This is what I am coming to alignment with. And it shifts by default. And Renee, I know you see energy so well, but I discovered this. It doesn't have to be said in the moment to the person.
Right.
I declare it energetically,
Yeah.
and the energetics comply.
You're alchemizing it.
You, Patty, always come with the great one-liner. Boom, that's what it is. I love it.
You described that beautifully, because sometimes when you say alchemize, people go, what the fuck does that mean? But essentially, that's exactly what you're doing. You're containing the energy and going, okay, now let's throw this out and alchemizing it, back to a higher frequency. So that's genius. That's mastery. It's mastering your energy. And, so our topic today is that finding that stillness in chaos. So Renee, I'm sure that you have some good examples of, is there an example where you personally or somebody around you were able to help them, to guide them into that state?
There's many of them. So I'm gonna try and get one, because first what we have to recognize, and this is tough. And Tracy, what I love about your story is you're standing in your truth. And right now, in this whole energetic field of 2024, and this energy grounded into the earth on January 3rd, and we are continually having these big energetic downloads. And what they're really here to force us to really stand in our truth and look at ourselves and look at our truth. And a lot of it's not going to be fun, because as we're looking at things that maybe we bought into, or all of that stuff, it's going to bring up a lot of shit in our field. And it's really not allowing yourself to buy into this. And this is so easy, and yet it's so difficult at the same time. So when you're recognizing I'm in this state, or something's coming forward, and oh my God, what do I have to do, instead of going down that rabbit hole, take that breath and step back and say, okay, wait a minute, this isn't who I am right now. Like, this energy is all about us letting go of the old identities. This is us, in a sense, reconfiguring a new version of us. And it's really not reconfiguring. You're going back into who and what we truthfully are. So when you stop and you breathe, you're like, okay, you know what, wait a minute. My question of the day is, what is my reality? What am I creating today? And really, silly enough, just thinking that, say, okay, well, would I create this? Would I create this bullshit in my life? No, that's the old version. Okay, I'm gonna let that go now. And it is crazy how, when you say that, or you think that, how all of a sudden there's this energetic shift in you. And if I didn't see it with energy, when clients are doing that, or like a friend or something is doing, I'm like, okay, well, say this and let me see what I see. And then I see the shift, and they're like, yeah, but you know what? I still feel this. I still feel anger. Or I'm like, okay, so you feel that anger. So now what are you going to do with that? Do you want to continue to feed that? Or are you going to let that go? Letting it go, just having whatever words you use of, okay, thank you so much. Always thank it. You've got to give that appreciation, because first of all, you're recognizing that you're angry, or you're frustrated, or some old belief is coming up. Instead of saying, well, I have to process this. No, that's the old energy. That's bullshit. That's the old way of doing things. The new way is like, okay, thank you. Recognize that, I'm going to fill you with love and I'll let everything else go. It's so simple. Everything is so easy. We just have to recognize that, okay, wait a minute. I'm creating this. And what is my intention? My intention is to let this go. I don't know what words to use. What am I going to do? You just did. You just thought it. The intention was going to let it go. Let it go.
Exactly. And put it in a container and alchemize it with love. And, you brought up something really, really key there, Renee, and that is, are you willing to let it go? So I see, and we see this, I know, in our coaching, right? Where they get so far and make progress, and then keep saying, oh, but, my knee's been hurting since I'm 5. Now you're focusing that energy back there. And it's like, you have to have that honesty with yourself and that integrity to say, okay, what am I creating in this moment? And can I just love this and say, okay, thank you for showing yourself. And it's okay to do, like, we literally have the power to alchemize that energy. And, but it's a choice. And things, we talked about this in our little sidebar, out with the old and in with the new. We're constantly moving forward. We're constantly in growth. Energy is like being dumped into our bodies. And if you think of it, it's like, are you trying to hold a beach ball underwater, or are you just letting it, right? Let it go and let the darn beach ball go. Another one will come. It's right. It's like, however hard any form of resistance, anything that you're not willing to let go of that isn't serving you is keeping you in chaos, quite literally. And you're creating more of the energy that you absolutely don't want to see. It's that awareness of, what am I creating in this now moment? What am I creating in this now moment? And so I have a choice. Can I freak out and spin out, and get support? This is why we have a community here, and say, hey, wait a minute. Everybody in my world is blowing up. Well, Tracy just gave you a tool. Go to the beach and let the shit go. Alchemize it back to, right? Thank you for showing this to me, because as creators, we can direct the energy, but then you have to make that choice and then stay in it.
And I want to add a little something, and I believe it probably presents different for everybody. I'm a little, let's get it done, let's go kind of person, fire energy. So sometimes to me, if I'm making a lot of very big energetic changes and reality changes, stuff will happen. The other day, I'm not kidding you, I electrocuted myself, I stubbed my toe, I probably broke something, and I could go down that, why am I, but I had to remind myself, ooh, that was a big burst out of energy, instead of, or we were just speaking earlier, sometimes things break, or embrace that it could quite possibly be an energy, a very strong energy release. And sometimes that's how I'm going to say a lot of times that's how it presents for me. It is by means of something breaking or me hurting myself. And I do. And then envision just that energy. Let's say you jam your finger. Just imagine that energy just completely dispersing right out of your system. And then you give it more amplification of letting it go. So that's kind of don't get discouraged, keep going. And I do believe that now and forward, that might present itself more often than not. Those big energy dispersals is how I see them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And have patience. We're so used to, I've got to fix this now. So when stuff like seems to be blowing up in your field, just pause and find a way to get into that still point and just hold that space. And because when you do that, now you're allowing yourself the opportunity to gain perspective, to see the truth, and you're not entangling in what is going on. And that's, that's the fun part of the work that we do. For me, it's, oh, okay, this one's going off, this one's upset, this one's okay. Now here's fun. I'm going to stay in my space, and I'm going to create a safe container for them to be able to expand out of this contraction. And so it's that recognizing there's chaos, staying present. Don't go up into the fight or flight with them. Stay present, and then say, oh, this is an opportunity for me to stand in my power. What choice am I going to make? Renee, I see that you have something to add here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, because we had talked earlier when, Tracy said, oh, yeah, we're on the beach. Water is so purifying and so cleansing. So if you don't have a beach, any walk, by the way, you go on any walk, Gaia, Mother, Father, Earth, whatever you call it, like comes up. The energy that the plants give us are amazing. They are taking from you all the stuff. So when you're going on a walk, take some deep cleansing breath. Just have your thought. You don't have to talk to them out loud. You don't have to go hug a tree if you don't want to, but have all that, be like, okay, I'm just giving this all up. I'm giving it up. And you will feel that energy that's being shared to you. I mean, it's amazing. And if you can't do that, if you get in the shower or you just wash your hands under the thing, that water isn't just going over your hands. You're utilizing that to go through the whole body, and let everything go. And a big, big piece for me and a lot what my clients have said is that disconnect, like having that whole thought be disconnect when somebody's complaining or somebody's doing, or you're feeling that energy, it might not be yours. Maybe all of a sudden you felt, aggravated or just, whatever, because that was coming in from something else. Energy does not know walls. So if you've got a neighbor, okay, who's having a fight over there, guess what? That energy's coming in. Unless you're building this beautiful container or this bubble of light around your house that you're like, okay, look, nothing but unconditional love can be here. Energy's going to flow in. So recognize, why am I feeling this way? What's happening? And let me disconnect from this. And you can even just say, I ask that this energy all now be purified, return back to love. It actually really happens. Like I watch it. I watch it actually happen. Don't make this some big giant thing that has to be, oh my God, well, how do I do this? How do I get out of this? The minute you think, I want to get out of it, your energy is starting to shift. And just say, okay, let this go. And another big, big thing is just take that deep breath in, even if it's not the fight or flight where you're breathing, holding, and exhaling out longer. Just taking 3 deep, just cleansing breaths normal. You will be shocked at how all of a sudden your whole body comes back into alignment and all of that other stuff just sort of releases and lets go.
Yeah, great point. Trust and do not analyze.
Yeah. Oh.
There's no analytics necessary. It's just trusting, oh wait, I have the power to direct my own energy. And it's trust it and don't, when you start analyzing, you're already, you turned your GPS off, right? So, wow, this was a quick, this one went by fast. I know we have so much more to say on this. Any closing comments, ladies?
I just want to add, when I walk the beach, this is the flip side of what Renee just said, or if people are having hard times, I will go to the beach for them and I will take on the vibration of the water and the sand and put it in their field. And then with my kids, I do it all the time. I put it in their field and then I have them be beacons to radiate it out. So I feel like the more that everyone, when you're in a good space or when you know someone, go to that water, to that nature, and send out that emanation of that beautiful, I just love the grounding of nature and that love, and let it ripple.
Yeah.
And it's the butterfly effect. That
Yes.
is absolutely works. And it's such a powerful exercise.
Yeah. And I want to say, if you can't go into like the beach water, because that's also, have your thought be, if you've been any place or you've seen it someplace, you're like, oh, the water is so great. Call that energy to you. Okay, I'm going to place myself in front of this waterfall. I feel it, and you'll feel it come in, and then utilize that. Or just say, I'm taking all that energy, even if you're not there, I'm taking all the energy and I'm throwing it into, whatever, the world, somebody's space, whatever, because it happens.
Yeah. Or mirror the sun.
Mm.
Bring the sun's energy into your, and then I'm radiating out the energy of the sun full of love. And so, yeah, I mean, nature is like just that is like, it's a free energy plug for us, like, right? And that's underutilized in my opinion. So
I agree.
well, ladies, thank you. What a great discussion. And I think we had some really good tips in there for everybody. So if you like our channel, please like and hit that subscribe button. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you.